So we just wanted to make a video, just to talk about some things. And of course, as some of our friends and family and loved ones know, and people around know about our beautiful daughter, our baby girl, who we recently lost. It was super hard for us, honestly. The hardest things we had to endure, the hardest thing my wife had to endure and go through, when we were just hoping and praying and just, seeking God for so many answers. We just had to come to terms and, receive that revelation that God is still God at the end of the day.
I'm so glad to just serve a God that sits so high and looks so low.
Yeah, my God.
Because again, we're not perfect at all. So it's like, God, I thank you because
you still kept us.
You kept us for so much. You don't have to do none of this.
Exactly.
None of this. And I'm so undeserving of it and everything. And I just know, that God covers us from the seen and unseen things. And I'm just so thankful for that. And I feel even more blessed to know that this God just looking out,
Absolutely.
and keeping us.
What are you looking at?
I'm waiting for Aaron to say action.
Action.
Oh, hello. That was my intro part right there.
We can leave that if you guys want to. We can leave that.
I'll actually like it. Yeah.
All right, just go ahead. Just go ahead.
What's going on, guys? My name's Jay Washington,
I'm Shaquana Washington.
and we are the Washingtons. It's gonna look awesome when you play it out. But you can go ahead and start telling what this video is all about. Let them know everything, which
All right,
majority
guys.
of people all know.
So today is 7/5, and today was the due date
7/5.
we were given for our Aubrey Jai.
Yes.
So we are doing this documentary for her, to basically keep her memory going, keep it, alive and everything. Give you guys updates on everything from the beginning to end, how everything happened when I told Jay we were pregnant, when we told our family, doctor's appointments, going through all of this in the middle of a pandemic. Shout out to COVID. But yeah, just
perfect time.
Yeah, so this video is for everything in between. So yeah, we're excited to be doing this and looking forward to it. Just a little about us. Jay and I have been together for 6 years.
Yeah, I think about 6 years, going on 7. We made it official January the 1st. I want to go ahead and tell you just a quick backdrop. We met during her college season and college years, at Fayetteville State University. She stalked me in Facebook Messengers. So
I never did.
I was bound to accept. Right when I accepted the friend request, she was in my DMs. Hey, I thought it would be rude for me not to say anything.
Boy.
And I'll probably, screenshot the text message to y'all later.
That's not true. True story is we met when I was in college and we just started talking. That's it. And
Oh, okay, yeah. That's it, yeah. Okay.
but we are coming up on our 1 year anniversary being married.
Woo!
So that's
When did we get
exciting.
married?
August the 17th at 3 o'clock p.m. approximately.
Last year, 2019.
Yeah, 2019.
Yeah.
So
It was awesome. It was beautiful. You probably see the pictures floating around here or going through a slideshow of us being married and stuff like that. It was awesome.
it was.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a little bit about us. We found out we were pregnant with Aubrey October the 27th was the day I found out.
Yeah.
And I told Jay about it. And I really didn't plan on how, it was so shocking to me. I didn't plan on how to tell him. So it was kind of like spare the moment type thing. I remember we was on our way to a friend's house and I just randomly told him in the car.
I was driving too. No, wait, she was driving. She was driving. I was in the passenger seat. And then she just brought her camera out. And
I just stopped. We was at a red light.
She stopped and brought the camera out in video. I'm like, oh, what are you doing? What are you videoing me for? And immediately, my eyes got big,
and he knocked my phone out my hand. So really didn't capture his moment or anything like that because he
believe me, I was surprised. Yeah, I was surprised. I was happy at the same time though. I was thrilled. We both were thrilled.
It was very shocking and pretty much the excitement and exciting time.
Absolutely.
So when I told him everything, he was going crazy. We didn't tell nobody for
4. It was about
We found out we was
3 to
pregnant in
4
October.
months.
We didn't tell anybody till around Christmas time.
October, November, December.
Yeah, it was around Christmas time.
around Christmas time.
Yes.
Yeah, it was around Christmas time. Yeah, 'cause we got other pictures and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
Yeah, it was around Christmas time.
So
Right.
we went to our first doctor. Well, we went to Fast Med on November the 1st. That's
After she
when, 'cause I
took,
knew-
wait. After she took like 6 or 7 pregnancy tests too.
It was probably
To
more
make
than
sure.
that. It took
Yeah,
a whole
probably
lot.
more.
But
Yeah.
then we wanted to go to Fast Med because we really didn't want to wait to our scheduled doctor's appointment to be sure. So we went to Fast Med and they confirmed it. And again, we were...
Ooh, let's go. Just found out that my wife right there, she pregnant with my baby inside her stomach. Ooh, let's go. Let's go. See that? That's my baby right there. And we're married too.
excited. We were very happy. But even then, it still wasn't like stuck in my head like, whoa, we're actually pregnant type. So when we went to our first appointment at the OB, it was nerve-wracking. Didn't know what to expect.
I was excited.
Didn't know what questions to ask or anything like that. The experience was, it was up there. The experience was, for my first time going on that side of the OB, it was pretty cool and exciting as well. And he did go to that. He actually went to every appointment.
I told I want to go to like every doctor appointment. I didn't want to miss anything.
He went to every appointment, and he didn't miss any until after the fact when COVID came and they put restrictions on.
Dad, you can't come in and stuff like that. I'm like, what you mean? I'm the dad, bro. But they still tell me I can't come. I said, okay, I'll wait in the parking lot.
But he did a pretty good job at asking questions, giving the doctors my symptoms and stuff.
I was on it too. I was like, okay, doc, she's here. She's eating this.
He knew what size Aubrey was.
Like before even the doctors told me, I was like, okay, yeah, I already knew that. You know, she's about at a grapefruit. She's, you know, at about the size
he had
of
a track
egg.
thing on his phone.
I knew all this stuff. I would tell them stuff that, you know. Like, okay, this is where we're at, this, and y'all should be doing this. I would tell them that. They were probably tired of me, but I was like, hey, that's where we was at.
He even bought the Doppler thing where you can hear the heartbeat.
Heartbeat sensor. So, it was awesome.
He bought that a little bit after I told him we was pregnant. Yeah, so before we even started going to the OB, he was already hearing the heartbeat.
I was already saying doctor. My little girl already knew I was her doctor.
He was already there.
I was going to deliver her too.
So the funny thing about Aubrey, what I remember the most, like when we was pregnant, was I can talk to Aubrey all day long. I'm at work, talking to her, walking, eating. This girl don't talk to me. Like, she did not talk to me. And Jay was working night shift. So we would like hit and miss one another. When I'm at work, he's on his way to work when I'm getting off work. And when he's getting off work, I'm in bed. So he would get home from work and it's like Aubrey just knew when her daddy was coming home, and she would be moving up something, like just going crazy. Like
every time
the whole day, she would not do anything for me. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just as soon as Jay gets home.
Every time I come, like, daddy's home, she ready to jump. She jumping in his stomach. She twisting around. She happy in there too.
It was that. I think that's my favorite.
Yeah, we playing
favorite memory. Yeah, when he first felt her kit and caught it on video.
Oh, I was hyped. I was going crazy. I was calling Jesus now, like, Jesus, you see this? She doing something there. She all right. Or she was dancing in there. She was playing around in there.
So when we end up telling our family, like we said, around Christmas time, and it was a surprise. So we kind of wrapped it up like a present type thing. And when we told our parents, when we told my mom, she just knew it was gonna be like a portrait from our wedding, like of us, I guess. So when she opened it, like her expression, her demeanor, everything, it was just so funny. I just knew she was about to pass out. I didn't know like what was about to happen, but she was going crazy
with excitement.
Yeah, and then your mom.
Then we told my mom. It took her at least about 3 hours to understand the picture and stuff like that. But she finally grasped it. Like she grabbed that picture, like. Jai. And she's like, Shaquana.
Yeah, I don't know what she thought. Like when she
And then-
opened it up, she just looked at it and was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
what?"
I was like, what do you expect? Cause it had like our pictures saying, you know, expecting. And then it had, you know, all the, you know, the what's it called?
The movie
test.
screen thing.
Yeah, the movie screen, but it had, you know,
Movie
all the tests and everything.
Oh,
like that
the
showing.
pregnancy test
Yeah,
and
the
the
pregnancy
ultrasound
test and everything, the
stuff like
ultrasound and stuff. But it took her a while to grasp. I don't know why.
that. Yeah.
But anyway, then she finally grasped it. And it looked like she was about to whoop
thought
me.
she was mad.
Scared. I was like, wait, we're married. We did everything right. So I know he's about to whoop me. But she was like, started crying in excitement. She was happy. Like, she was just ready. Then right away, she started buying so many clothes. Like, they were both on it.
Both our moms, they were on it. They was some great nanas and grandmoms and stuff. They were buying all types of stuff. Every time they go into a store, look what we found.
like I told myself I wasn't gonna do it, but I got like 3 more outfits.
It's like when you go shopping, you just got to go on the baby aisle, especially when you know you're expecting. You have to. Like, I think that's a rule.
Oh, I was excited already. And then I want to say one thing. My wife said if we have a daughter, she will never dress like her daughter, have her daughter dress like her. My wife have this lemon drop, like a lemon fruit outfit. Romper. And then she's in Target, I think. And she found the exact same romper with lemons up there for a little girl outfit.
It was cute.
She bought it.
Could you not?
She bought it, but she told me I could never do it, but she went and bought it. So.
It's like, okay, I saw the exact same outfit I already have.
Right.
Why would you not get that? Like, again,
so
that's another
she was
rule.
determined to go ahead and dress alike and be twins.
I only had one outfit that looked alike. That's it.
Right. So she was gonna get more. She was gonna get more. It wasn't to stop there.
I mean, so what?
Exactly. And she swore up and down, babe, I ain't gonna never dress like my daughter. She ain't gonna never dress like me. I think that's crazy. Right when she saw the outfit, she trying to dress everything alike.
Yeah, but
she was.
It was. I think I love the shopping part, going shopping for her.
Yeah, she was shopping.
Looking at the clothes and stuff. Another exciting time I think was when we had the gender reveal. So before we even found out Aubrey was a girl, her nickname was Doodle.
Yeah, Doodle. You wanna know why her name was Doodle? We'll tell you why. Go ahead, tell her why, babe.
Her nickname was Doodle because I craved a lot of cheese puffs, and I called them cheese doodles.
They're cheese doodles. They're not really called cheese puffs. Everybody, you know, back in the day know they called cheese doodles, not cheese puffs.
I ate a lot of cheese doodles.
A whole lot.
A lot. Like the big bags.
Yeah. She'll eat a whole big bag in like one day and then still want some.
So, henceforth why Doodle came, and we called her Doodle
a little Doodle
for a very long time. Mm-hmm. And then when the gender reveal came, I was so nervous that day. I really didn't know what we were going to have. Like, I don't know what
I was thinking we were going to have a boy, but I wouldn't say I always wanted a girl, but of course I did. But
always want a girl.
I really did. Like, I always wanted a little girl and stuff. But either or, of course, you know, glory to God, we would love both of them. But
yeah. But it was shocking when we popped the balloon, which you kind of took away from Carson because that was his job.
No, countdown said 1, 2, 3, pop. He's still waiting around the next 2 seconds later. So, I mean, I was excited.
When we popped the balloon and all the pink confetti came out. I
was froze. I was looking around like, you sure that ain't blue?
Wow.
I'm over here trying to look for like the blue chips underneath the pink ones. All right, what a blue is. I just grew up and now we have a little boy, but
if we was going to have a boy, his name would have been Carter. But Aubrey was always a name that we knew we was going to
I was going to change the name at the last minute at the living room. The name was John Henry Washington.
And our child, Jr. Our son, would never be
right.
a John.
I'm John Henry Washington. Let me go break this down before we go into it. My granddad's name is John Henry Washington Sr. My dad's name is John Henry Washington Jr. My name is John Henry Washington Jr. the second. Now, I'll talk to you about it later. Don't ask how, okay? Just don't worry about it. My twin brother name is John Henry Washington Jr. the third. Then our older brother name is Jonathan Washington. So it was bound to happen.
There would be no John. There would be no Henry.
Exactly.
There would be no Junior of no kind.
And then my nephew name is Jonathan Cal Washington. We call him J. Cal for short. So, then my niece name is not the same, but her name is Mimi. Emia. That's my sweet. Yeah, so I
didn't say everybody's name, but then just say Mimi.
Yeah, that's okay.
But no, there would be no John whatsoever. Yeah. None of that. All of that is done. Yeah. Like, that's it. But when we found out we was having a girl, we always knew the girl name was going to be Aubrey because way before Jay and I even got married, this was before we even got married. So way before we even had Aubrey or whatever, but he had a dream and he told me about it. And he said that her name was Aubrey. Yeah. And I think that was probably, 2 months before we even got married?
Yeah, it was 2 months before we got married. Like, I had a dream that she was pregnant and she was already delivering her. And she came out, she was beautiful too. Just like Aubrey already was. And her name was Aubrey. It ain't have like, the middle name, which was Jay and stuff like that.
And I still have that message because I was at work.
Yeah, it was a long message I sent
I was at work and he sent me that message of the dream that he had. And I just thought it was so cool how this was before we even got married that he already saw this, like God gave him the vision like for it and everything. So it kind of didn't surprise me when I saw that we was having a girl because if God spoke it months before we even got married, it didn't surprise me.
And give you that vision and, allowing you to see that dream and for it to come to pass too. Like we still, even though, we didn't have it, like we're still more than like blessed and just happy still at the same time. Like, I mean, we can't be more thankful still, whether we had it or not.
Very thankful for the experience along the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
So getting into the day we went to the hospital. Which was April the 3rd.
Yeah.
Well, actually April the 2nd because it was the day before. So I went to the hospital April the 2nd.
Yeah.
And I was having what I was feeling were Braxton Hicks. That's how my doctor explained it to me, and that's what
we looked up and did research on.
That's exactly how it felt. It was very painful for days, like a long time, and it was hard to move and everything. So April the 2nd, I ended up calling my doctor, and I was telling her again how bad it felt and everything, and by this time, my doctor's office was already closed, so she just told me to go to the hospital.
And we were
26 weeks.
26 weeks.
Yeah.
Too,
so we were 26 weeks on this day.
Yeah, 26.
So 26 weeks, I called the doctor's office. They were closed, so she told me to just go to the hospital and have a midwife check to make sure everything is okay and everything. So I drove to the hospital. Jay was already at work by this time, and I had called him and told him I was on the way to the hospital, and he just wanted to come.
Yep. Okay, at first I told, because I was thinking, just check on Aubrey, make sure she's good. Of course, we weren't thinking nothing negative. So I just called my twin brother and told him, hey, can you go, to the hospital with Shaquana just to check on her and stuff like that to make sure she's good and go with her. But something like, I'll just rather go. Because my thing is, I just want to see them do, the ultrasound so I can see her move. So that's the reason why I really came down. I wasn't thinking of anything else. I like, well, I ain't seen my Aubrey in a while, so let me go ahead and see her on the TV. So that's why I came down.
So I ended up getting to the hospital before he got there. And, they're checking me in, asking me all these questions, preparing me. Because the lady at the check-in was just like, when you come in for a delivery on your delivery date, we wouldn't have to ask you this all over again. So she was already preparing me, for everything. So mind you, I'm not worried about anything. I'm feeling fine, not thinking, anything's wrong or anything like that. Jay comes, they put me in a wheelchair type thing and roll me to a room.
I was rolling her down.
Yeah, we were practicing.
I was like, baby, this is how it's going to be once we deliver.
We was practicing and stuff. Yeah. So we get into a room and I have to change to a gown and all that stuff. And we're just looking at the walls and stuff. Because we're just, just thinking, man, we're going to be here again in a few more months and everything. So we're just excited to, be there and everything. And a nurse comes in and she is checking me, like rubbing stuff on my tummy and everything. And I think like within that minute, like everything just stopped.
It was like,
everything.
You felt you was in another place, like a void. Like the whole room was just silent. Like when she was doing, trying to find Aubrey heartbeat and stuff like that and everything, but she was having a hard time to find it. And of course, even on the
ultrasound.
Yeah, on the ultrasound, video, TV or whatnot. Like it won't show like, the red and blue colors and stuff like flowing and stuff like her, heart line and stuff like that, heartbeat, nothing was flowing and stuff like that. So it's taking time. In my head, I'm like, all right, okay, stop playing. You must be new because you ain't doing your job.
Mind you, before, like at every doctor's appointment we went to before, they will always have a hard time finding Aubrey's heartbeat because she's always moving so much. Like, she was so active with moving. So when she was having a hard time finding her, I'm like, I know where she is. She's over here. Just check over here.
Well, I'm like, just give her here. Let us do it.
Like, we know where she is. We know how to get her moving and stuff like that. But the nurse, like, she looked at us and she was just like, I'm sorry, there's no heartbeat. Yeah. And that's it. Like, she just said that and that's it. And Jay and I looked at each other. It's like, okay, you leave the room and bring the doctor in here.
So we don't need you anymore. Well, okay, now just go get a doctor.
Yeah.
We thank you for
probably don't. Go just leave. So, can we have the doctor come in here, please? And if she ever sees this video, I'm sorry if we came off rude.
Yeah, we didn't mean to. It was just, we don't know if you started the first day. But now we're just saying. But now it wasn't nothing intentional. But, we just want to make sure, make sure everything's done.
Yeah,
right. And,
so the doctor ended up coming into the room. So when the nurse left out of the room, after she done told us there was no heartbeat, Jay and I was like, okay, like, it didn't hit us. Yeah. Then, like, we weren't panicking or anything like that.
And then it wasn't until, the doctor came in, then the doctor tried to look for it as well and everything. And then he looked for it for a good while. He was trying his best, of course. And we know he did his, A1 job like he was supposed to. But unfortunately, still couldn't find a heartbeat. And then after that, we were just silent. I just told him, hey, guys, can y'all just leave the room? We just need time, just leave the room. So we told them, leave the room. Then immediately, we looked at each other, started praying immediately. Then I called my pastor. We was on the phone with our pastor for a good while, talking to him and stuff like that. Then our pastor Jones, just things that was between us and everything that we just, just had to pray about and talk about and everything. And our pastor helped us get through it and everything. We prayed. And that's when, we talked to each other. We talked to God. And it felt like we was in that room like forever.
I could have sworn we was in there for days.
Exactly. Like
days, just locked into the room.
Yeah, like we were just like in another realm. Like, it's like we were just so many days, so many months, years past. Like, it's like we were just there. And then that's when we just, started wrapping around our head. We was like, okay, let's go ahead and start telling, our immediate family and everything like that. So we called her mom, let her know the news.
Because I called my mom when I was on the way to the hospital. She was at work.
Yeah, she was
and she wasn't thinking anything was wrong or anything like that. So she told me to call her when I leave the hospital. So she was calling me while we were at the hospital thinking that I already left. Yeah. And, so when we called her back and everything, like, it really just, it shocked her. And it's like I just heard it, like, in her voice. I didn't even have to see her face. Like, I heard it in her voice. And that was, like, a hard thing. Just telling my parents, his parents, his brothers, like, just telling our family, period, our friends, everything. That was very hard to do.
It was tough.
And I think for me, like, when the doctor came in and he was searching for the heartbeat, I'm looking at the screen and I see Aubrey. Mm-hmm. And she's not moving.
You can see her body.
Yeah,
like,
so we saw her body
her head,
and everything. And I'm like, every ultrasound that I've been to thus far, she's always moving, waving, flipping, like all types of stuff.
I was like, Aubrey, like, I felt like we were just playing, the other night we were playing on, hide and go seek game. You were just moving every time I come home. Like, like, all right, ain't time to play hide and go seek now. Start moving.
So to me, like, seeing her body like that, and I'm hearing the doctor, like, I'm hearing him, but nothing is registering, like, nothing is processing. Like, I'm seeing his mouth move, but it's not going, like, it's going in one ear out the other. Like, to me, like, I'm looking at the screen, like, I just know she's going to move. I know she is, and everything. And when, the doctor was like, okay, we got to make a decision now. We were not prepared. Mind you, I drove myself to the hospital, not expecting any of this whatsoever. So when the doctor was like, they gonna put us into labor and delivery. Like, what you mean?
We was like, labor and delivery. We're like, wait, we just at 26 weeks. I'm like, what are you talking about? Even though, like she said, the news just hit us that, we lost Aubrey. But, it didn't hit us that, okay, now we need to go ahead and deliver her. Okay, so how's she gonna come out? Well, you gotta deliver her. Like, you never think about delivering your child, like having a stillbirth. Like, anyone that think about the delivery, they think about the joy, you know, because you're about to see, you know, your baby come out. Yeah, you're about to hear him cry. You get to hug him, kiss him, and everything like that. But with this one, it's like it wasn't a reward at the end. The only thing you're pushing out, you know, is a stillbirth. And, you know, seeing your child, your daughter or son coming out and just being silent and not moving. Like for my wife to have to go through that, and she had to go through the pain of the labor and had to go through the travailing of the labor. But you're not seeing the reward on the other side. Like it was hard. Like that was tough. It was especially tough for me because I couldn't do anything about it. I couldn't do anything physically for her. I couldn't do anything. But the only thing I could do was what I do best, and that's just pray. I just had to continue praying over us, continue to pray into God and stuff like that. Now, I do want to, you know, rewind a little bit and go to our transparent side of when we got the news. Like we were so torn. We was angry.
All the emotions, like you could think of everything, anger, sadness.
That was the biggest thing for me. I told my wife, I said, boy, if we wouldn't have to pay for it, I'll punch a hole in each and every wall throughout this hospital. Because I was that mad. Like, I was just like, I was furious. I was like, you know, what's going on? Like, why? I'm like, of course you have those moments. I wouldn't say doubts because it wasn't a doubt for me, but it was a question moment. Okay, like, God, what happened? What happened? Like, what did we do wrong? Because, of course, we know, God, you didn't do anything wrong, but what did we do wrong? Like, what was it?
And, of course, I'm thinking, like, did I do... I'm the host, you know? So, of course, automatically, those thoughts start flooding, like, my head. Like, I'm the host. Did I move the wrong way? Did I lift something I shouldn't have lifted? Did I eat something that she didn't like? You know, stuff like that. Like, just... questioning. Doctors telling me there's nothing you could have done and all that. I'm like, I need an answer. I want to know what happened.
Exactly. And that's why I had to keep reassuring my wife. Because I knew, you know, of course those thoughts would run through her head, but that thought never crossed my mind at all. I'm like, no, you did everything right. You was perfect. Like, we know Aubrey would have loved you, like, you know, as her mother and everything. Like, she didn't do nothing wrong. It was just wasn't our time yet. And it was just for another testimony for somebody else. It was another experience for somebody else to witness and something else to add in our books, honestly. Because that's how we saw it.
When the doctor was explaining the labor and delivery process and everything, at first we said, can we go home and think about it and everything. The doctor said that he highly recommended that, no, like, we stay here, go ahead and do this. And they were expecting us to deliver Aubrey between the next day, like early morning.
Between 24 and 48 hours.
Yeah. So they told us to stay at the hospital. And mind you, this is all going on
right after,
like, at the height of the pandemic at that. So after we done told our parents and our family members and friends and stuff, they're wanting to come to the hospital. Yeah. My mom comes and my dad comes, and they can't even get in, you know, the hospital and stuff. And that broke my heart, like, even more and stuff. Because Jay and I are left to make all these decisions so fast. And so we can't even have our support
And
there.
The main reason why it had to be so fast, because we wanted to take another day to, you know, still process things. But they said it could be a risk with, you know, still having
her
dead tissue. Yeah, which was her. But initially it was still dead tissue in her, which could cause an infection on her. Like, unfortunately, wasn't anything we could do about, you know, our daughter, but still at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, I still have my wife. I still got to make sure my wife is good. Whether we want to make that hard decision or not, but I'm like, I still have my wife. I still got to make sure she's good. I still got to make sure, you know, nothing's go wrong with her or her body or anything like that. So we just had to make that decision. Go ahead, do it now, and just get it out of the way.
And when we finally came to decision to, okay, we have to do this, because if I'm being honest, I would have left and not had one care in the world about the risk it would have been doing for me, because again, it still have not registered, like, for me. Like, I want my baby girl, you know, like, I want her here and stuff. But when it came to, okay, we got to do this, like, I felt like I literally had to put on so much strength. Like, I don't know where the strength came from. Like, honestly, like, it all happened so fast for me. Like, I had to mentally prepare myself to push out something that I know I won't get to hold, get to hear cry or anything like that. Mentally, I think mentally that was harder than the physical part.
Right.
So when it came time to deliver and everything, no meds, not everything just happened so fast. Like, and when she came, I was.
Well, I'm about to say, let's even wind a little bit to the part before she came. So, we was in the delivery room and everything like that. And then, of course, because we wanted to get epidural and everything like that.
Yeah,
of course, because she didn't want to go through the pain and everything. Like, we knew it was like, okay, we don't want to feel that pain for her to go through it. Like, it's hard enough she had to go through it, mentally. We didn't want to, be too much physically. So, she had to first get a pill. I forgot what it's called.
A pill that they put inside of me.
Yeah, your cervix.
And she said that it would take like an hour or something to soften up the cervix and everything. And literally, she put it in at 11.
And it said you had to wait an hour before you could get your epidural.
Yeah, I couldn't go to the bathroom or anything. So she told me literally wait an hour. An hour. She put it in at 11 o'clock. 12 o'clock came. I had to go to the bathroom so bad. Yeah. And I go. And next thing I know, like, this pain just comes, like, out of nowhere. Excruciating pain comes out of nowhere.
And then that's when she called me in there, and that's why, like, what's going on?
I called him in the bathroom because I felt like something was coming out. Like, I didn't know what it was so painful. And I called Jay.
And it was supposed to be between 24 to 48 hours.
So the doctor wasn't even ready or anything. Yeah. Because she was going to come in that following morning. So when Jay came into the bathroom, I'm like, please, like, call the nurse in here. Yeah. Next thing I know,
I called the nurse in there, and then we're all in the bathroom because she was about to get ready to have Aubrey already, like, right when she was about to use the bathroom. So I pretty much had to take her and bring her to the to her bed so she can go ahead and deliver our little girl. And the nurses started getting ready and stuff like that, but she was already coming out. Like, Aubrey was already running through. Like, so I remember just holding Shaquana so tight and stuff, like, just coaching everything. And mind you, like, this is like my first time, with all this, like, for this experience or whatnot. Cause it was hard for both of us. I mean, my wife, she did an amazing job. Like, it was hard for her.
They're telling me to push and everything. Yeah. I don't know, like, we didn't make it that far for them to teach us, like, how to do it, how to push down or breathe in between it. All this is just winging it. Like, we
ain't do those parts on YouTube videos yet. Yeah. We're still looking at, the good stuff. We weren't looking at the delivery part and how to do it.
Yeah. So I'm hearing them telling me push, and I'm just like, I don't know how. I'm telling Jay, like, he's in my ear telling me I can do it and everything like that. I don't know how I can't do this. Like, I can't. And I'm trying so hard to push her out. I'm trying. And when she came out at 12:17 midnight, well, 12:17 it was midnight. And I just remember everybody just immediately telling me, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I got sick immediately afterwards and stuff like that. I threw up and everything. It was hard. But then you would think, like, you're birthing out something, you expect that to be a happy time and everything, but it went from pushing her out to I'm sorry.
Yeah. And that was like the hardest thing right there, Then the biggest thing we can still remember from the hospital room, like, because it didn't have no window, it was just so dark. It was so dark and just silent, and, like, the biggest thing I still remember from that room was, like, the sterilization of the room, the smell, that's everything is so sterile. So, like, I can still smell it right now just talking about it. Like, I can still, like, sense everything in that room. Like, it's those little glitches, those little memories, that pops in your head from that day. Like, you don't forget it. Like, it's one of those things, like, it's embedded.
That night was a hard night. Like, they asked me if we wanted to leave Aubrey in the room. We decided to leave her in the room
with us. Yeah.
And I honestly couldn't get enough strength to see her that night. I couldn't do it. I just remember looking in the box that they had her in, like, in the room and stuff like that. The whole night. She was in there the whole entire night.
Basket, yeah. And I remember while she was sleeping and stuff, afterwards, I remember, because I was trying to get the strength myself just to even go look at her. Like, it took me a while. I would go back to sleep, then wake up, see Shaquana, she was still asleep. Then I'd go back to sleep, then wake up. Then I finally went over there to finally see her for the first time. Man, that was the hardest thing to see. Like, the hardest thing to see. Like, for it's like to see all that hope and all that expectation and feel like it's dead for something you've been hoping and expecting for weeks, like months leading up. Like it's like balling up all your expectation and hope and putting it in something right there, but it's dead silent. Like it was a hard pill to swallow, like super hard. Like it really did. It flipped my world upside down. I won't lie. I think well for both of us. Like it flipped our world upside down. Like it shook. When I say it shook our faith, it shook our faith. But of course, we never cursed God. That's number one thing we never did. No matter how bad it was, like we never cursed God. We did admit to God, like God, that
it
one
hurt.
That one hurt. Like
that stung a lot.
Yeah, like that one was tough. Like especially when you feel like, okay, God, you gave me a dream about her, and you gave us her.
My thing
but
is,
she's not really.
like
with
God,
us.
you gave me this promise. You spoke her.
Yeah.
I carried her 6 months. I was 6 months when we had to give birth to her. 6 months. I'm too close to the finish line, and you called her back.
Yeah.
You called her back, and we didn't even get to hear her cry, hold her, first steps, talking, like any of that. All this that we already planned for when we was carrying her didn't come how we expected it, like how we wanted it.
We never thought that it would happen, honestly.
Never ever could I have imagined going through something like this. And we coming up on our 1 year married and stuff, so
1 year, and then and today would be, I think
her
since you said it, at the beginning of
today
the
would have
video.
been her due date,
Yeah,
July 5th, and that's why we're doing this, because this is the date that the doctors gave us, but God gave us a date months ago. God called you back months ago, and I still believe, and I know Jay still believes, that the promise is still going to be fulfilled. The promise is going to come forth, and it doesn't stop because of what happened, and that is my belief. Even on my hardest days, when I still have them, like to this day, I still challenge myself every day to say or point out there's something good in every day, and I had to verbally say that, like there's something good in every day. Like I got up, I went to work this morning, or I ate food today.
And that's one thing, even talk about, after we left the hospital and stuff like that. I remember it was about 2 days or something.
2 days for what?
While we was in the hospital. How long were we in the hospital? 3 days?
We came out on the 3rd.
Well, we came out on 3rd day. That's amazing. We came out of the hospital on the 3rd day. But I remember we came out on the 3rd day, and it was so sunny and stuff like that. And the room was so dark. We were like, man, like
I just knew we'd been there for like weeks.
Yeah.
When we came out, like it was very sunny.
Like, it was sunny, bright. Like everything was still going. Cars driving, birds out chirping. Like
it's like, wow, the world didn't stop.
Yeah, but it felt like in that room, like everything did.
Like it really
it
felt
we
like
were just in a dead space, a void
like
that whole
everything
time.
just paused. But to walk out of the hospital and
to see everything like, still going, it lets you know, like, okay, God, you are still God. Like, you're still God. You're still in control.
Just because like this happened, that doesn't mean you're not God.
Yeah.
Like everything is in your hands. You know all things. You created all things. You do all things. Yeah. Nothing stops. It has to keep going. So that tells us, like, no matter what, we had to keep going. Like, we had
no
to
matter what,
keep our heads up. We had to keep pushing. And I thank God for the prayers, for everybody that's been praying, because I honestly feel like that's the only thing that's been getting us through on the days that don't feel like getting through. And
then even just seeing the sunshine and stuff like that, like something as little as seeing like a bird fly through the sky, like that was just like enough for us, honestly. Like
now it's like when I see ladybugs.
Because that was her, like, that was her ladybug. Like that's her animal spirit, but insect spirit.
So after we came out of the hospital and we came home.
Yeah. And I took 3 weeks off. I was going to take 3 weeks off anyway for, delivery. But I just decided, to take 3 weeks off.
I'm so glad he had those days off.
Yeah.
And in that time we came home, I think that day, my mom and them came down.
I don't think that day. I think the next day. I think that day we had.
That day or the next day, they came down to see us and everything. And again, it was hard going through all this with COVID going on because you're not supposed to be around.
Exactly. And this was like the peak, or
yeah,
like,
the peak of like just starting, like type thing.
When nobody knew what was going on, but
people couldn't come to the hospital.
Things was closed. Yeah,
can't hug anybody, and I'm a hugger. I need to feel hugged. I want to feel loved and everything. So not to be around people really mentally again got to me a lot. So I'm so glad that he took the time to be off and be here and everything. So when he, as he was off, we didn't sleep in our room for a month.
I think the whole time since I've been off work, so 3 weeks, almost a month. Like we would sleep down here downstairs.
Sleep
I'll
downstairs.
be on the couch. I'll bring Shaquana mattress from upstairs, bring it downstairs every night.
And we slept just like how we slept when we was in that hospital room.
Yeah, because I was on the couch. Well,
I was holding his thumb.
Yeah, you'll hold my finger.
I had to hold because like that night the pains were still coming even after the birth and stuff, and it was bad. I had to hold on to something, so I took it out on him.
A lot of people don't know that, the things after Aubrey delivery, they don't know about those things like the afterwards part. It's like, after your delivery of your child, you don't know the stuff, afterwards. And this was our regular, after our stillbirth.
So like any other birth, like every birth, you still have those symptoms where your chest gets bigger, you still feel the pains and stuff like that. So mind you, I was still feeling those things and I didn't have her. Yeah. So my body was still making these changes and I have nothing to show for it. And that got to me as well. Like, we had her room ready, like everything's ready and stuff, like just, ready to go. Baby shower date plan, all types of stuff that we didn't get to do and everything like that. So even the after effects of the next doctor's appointment we had, so we came home on that Friday. I had a doctor's appointment that following Monday, and Jay couldn't go to it. That tore my heart out.
Everything that was going on.
That tore my heart to pieces. Like I needed him to go on the inside, like with me and everything, and he couldn't go with me. And when I was in there, like I'm crying. The nurses are looking at me and they want to cry and everything. They don't really know what to say. All I'm hearing over and over, I'm sorry.
And that's one thing, like, we understand, about, someone want to, show their, their love, their gratitude and stuff like that. But hearing that constantly, like, we're just
like, how do you respond to that? Like,
you can't and stuff. So, we appreciate, all our family and friends that did say that, because we know y'all came from a genuine place, and we really appreciate it. But we're talking about, say the strangers or the ones that really don't know us, and we just hear it constantly like, okay, thanks, we appreciate, we just, just move forward.
So that's another thing that we had to learn as a married couple. Okay, how can we respond to, people, like
we ain't used to pity parties.
No, like,
you know us,
us,
people. Like, we're always happy, we're always, smiling.
Yeah.
Like, even at times, say, through times that you may not be going, what we're going through, like, we're still smiling, like, regardless. Like, that's just who we are, period.
Yeah, we're not the ones that kind of be upset or sad. We like to joke around and everything like that. So when all of this was happening to us, like, we're on the other side of things now. Like, it's like a flip side of it where we go from joking to being like, it's a different stage. And I think for me, what I learned in this encounter was I got to see Jay how he grieved. And I never seen him grieve before. I never seen him lose anybody. He still has everybody. Yeah. So to see him do this, I seen another step in our marriage. I seen him carry us like to another level.
Right. And I'm about to say, honestly, cause I didn't even know how I would deal, with the stages of grieving and whatnot. Because I never had, really lost him myself. The only person I lost that was really dear to me and like really touched me was my grandmother. Like, cause that lady, she was like my core. Like, she was like my everything. I love that woman. But and then after that was still at a kind of young age, so it ain't hit me that bad. But I just know, that was my grandma. I mean, that was my woman. That was my lady. But then when I lost a little girl, like I still ain't know how to accept it, or like, am I grieving correctly? Like, what am I supposed to be feeling? What am I doing? I feel hurt, but I won't always feeling hurt. I was more so just feeling anger.
Yeah.
Like, so much anger. So, like, I was just angry. that was like my biggest thing. So like, what am I? What is it and stuff. So I knew during that time as well, I felt like I was distancing myself from God a little bit. I wouldn't say out of anger, but I just felt, because we was like, okay, God, we're gonna give you a shoulder,
the cold shoulder type.
Cold shoulder for a little bit.
Ain't
right
it
now.
funny how you think like we give God a timeout? Like no, like
He like,
you go sit over
and
there.
the thing is, I think it was in a 1 day process. We didn't do it like for 2 days, 3 days straight. It was just 1 day, cause he straightened us real quick. Say, we did it, that day. Then later on, like, all right, God, I'm sorry. It was us. We apologize. Like, it was hard though. It was just that human nature. It was our human side. It was our humanity side.
Literally having to be honest and opening up to God. Like, literally telling God, like, God already knows everything. Like, so honestly, He knows how we feel.
Exactly. And honestly, at that point, we was in our garden. She already know, because I've been talking about the garden so long.
That was our garden experience.
Like, that was our garden experience. Like, that was our point. Like, God, we got to be transparent with you because we don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, you got to, like, come down here, look us in the face and tell us it's gonna be okay. Like that's the only way we were gonna know it's gonna be okay. Like we're dead in the garden right here. Like this is the only place that we know. Like we have to be so human to you where we feel like we won't even made in your image. Like we was lost. But then of course God reminded us.
I guess like for me, I felt let down. I felt that God, you said it, I believed it, but it didn't come. So I felt to the point like, okay, I know you to be God. I seen you be God. I seen you do miracles, perform miracles. I seen you do the unexpected, turn things, around, even like for us and everything like that. I seen you do it, but for this, it was different. It was more personal. Like I felt it physically and mentally, and to me, that was just like, okay, like that one really hurt. Like that really got to me. Like I thought I was a strong person before all this. So I'm just trying to see, okay, God, what am I needing to get out of this? What do we as a married couple need to take from this and learn from and move forward from? Like I'm still trying to understand that or trying to see it. What did we miss? Like what did we do wrong?
And then even on top of everything, it was like, okay, God, we're going through checklists. Like God, we're doing this right, this right.
Fasting,
like we're fasting, we're praying. Like we're still praying for others throughout what we're going through and stuff like that. That was hard for us. I'm like, man, God, like we're tired. Like we was at the point like we was tired. Like man, but glory to God, we still kept going. Like I think the biggest revelation we got from this was that you're still God. After having a stillbirth, like, God, you're still God no matter what. Like, you still remain God. Yeah. Like, that was, I feel that was my relationship.
You're still a restorer. You're still a way maker.
Yeah.
The promise keeper. We know that. And we believe that.
You're still all that.
Everything and more. Our everything and more. Even with our own personal relationships, like with our Father and everything. It brought me deeper in my... I remember telling Jay, and this is when we still had Aubrey and everything, where I felt like my relationship needed to be better and everything. And I kept telling him that. And I felt like, this really brought me closer, to God, to really tell him how I feel. Because if I'm being honest, like, we think that we can't tell God our emotions like he already don't know. Like we try to hide it or cover it up. I come to find out you can't cover it up. You can't cover it up. You're only tiring yourself out even the more just holding it in. Yeah. So when you lay that at the altar and pour it out on his feet and everything, it's like, okay, give it to me. I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for you to tell me. Like, waiting for you to open up. That's the relationship part. That's
what we had talked about before, like that's when you really get in a relationship with God. Think about, say you're in a relationship with your spouse or your significant other. Like, how do y'all build y'all relationship? Y'all open up, y'all talk to each other, y'all communicate and stuff like that. You got to make God just as tangible as your wife or husband is, as how you and your relationship with God. Like, at the point, like, God is so tangible to me. Like, I'm over here, like, I'm touching him right now. Yeah. Like, that's how I feel. Like me and him was like we're there. Yeah. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you, to me, that came from experience and the things I went through, like my test, trial, and tribulation. It didn't just come from reading the word. It didn't just come from prayer. Like that's things I had to go through. That's what got my relationship with God so much stronger and stuff like that. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, and that's from many mistakes as well. So yeah, it comes with a price. I'll tell you
that's
that.
why we
but
know
it's worth it though.
God is whatever you need him to be.
Yeah.
And we've seen him do and be whatever we needed him to be. You know, God is the way maker. Like he sets us on a path and he guides us while we're on that path. Even when we're in the valley, he's still there. On the top of the mountain, still there. Like doesn't matter where we are in life, what circumstance we find ourselves in, situations, tribulations, he's still there. He's God at all times, no matter what. And that is our motto. No matter what. It is too. Like no matter what. That's just keep going. Just keep smiling, keep going. And even the strongest person has their moments, and that's okay. And I have learned that over and over, time and time again. I'm still learning that. And I would say that after, you know, the doctor's visits, the 6-week checkup that I went to and everything, everything checked out good. But another thing that kind of set me back was when they got the results back from Aubrey and stuff. They said she was perfect. Like everything was perfect. They don't know why, and it was just like sometimes it just happens. No, I kind of need an answer. I kind of want
it was one of those things we had to come to terms with. Okay, God, you know the answer, but we don't. But we're okay with that. We had to have that type of faith. It's like you want to know the answer to what went wrong, but God's like, I got the answer. Don't worry about it. Just keep going. I'm like, but God, like, we want to know what happened. God's like, no, it's not for you. You'll know later, but it's not for you now. But we had to get into that faith of like
that faith, like God, faith to faith. Like we was at this faith, but then our faith went like over here. Like that's it. Like
exactly. Like you had to go to.
You just had to take that answer and be okay with it. Like you had to take that answer and just be
still
fine.
Keep going. Yeah, like, I'm like, boy, God, you know how to put a smile on our face. Like man, God, like He loves us. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you, like
he loves us a lot.
Yeah.
Loves us a whole lot.
Now, don't get us wrong, because we don't want to seem like we're only talking about negative things. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, God bless us tremendously. Like things people don't know, and things people do know. But I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, there's a lot of things that people don't know, but God truly loves us tremendously. I mean, y'all will see that in the future and stuff when the things reveal itself, but God is always making us happy and smile. Like as to this day, you know, like we're still happy, we're still smiling, like we're still, you know, got our hope and joy in God. And as long as you don't misplace that, like you still gonna keep it. That's my thing. So we had to make sure we put our foundation of joy and happiness and hope in Him. Then I mean, you know, nothing can shake us like that again. Yeah. Like God truly like had to show us that.
And to not lose hope.
Yeah.
To not lose hope. No matter what it looks like, don't lose hope.
Yeah, you gotta have something to go.
Don't forget
forward to.
Yeah, don't forget. Move forward. Yeah. Keep moving forward.
Yeah, exactly. And let those days, don't let it be just a day, but let it be those moments. And she already know, because I tell my wife all the time, because, you know, I see her, you know, stare off from time to time, you know, in the past and stuff, you know, it's still to this day. And I see her stare off, I'm like, hey, babe, you know, that's your moment. Yeah. You know, it's not me rushing the process, but I can't allow my wife or my household or even me to fall into that place of, you know, the loaded bar place, you know. You can't be there all day, or guess what? You're going to start making it comfortable and you're going to stay there.
Yeah, like he already said, like he tells me that all the time, to just have a moment and just let it just be that. And I'm still learning that, because I do still have my moments, and my moments sometimes turn into days where I do isolate myself and all that stuff, and I don't feel like talking. So be it. But in that, it's like, okay, that's when I need to pray more. I need to press in more, because even in those moments, when I have those moments, I can see the enemy wanting to come in with loads of depression, even loads of sadness and stuff like that. So it's like I had to press in even more, and that's why I know and I feel the strength of prayers of other people. When people say that they're praying for you, the ones that genuinely pray for you,
who's your circle. Like,
I appreciate it so much.
Ones,
we appreciate the prayers so much, because there'll be days when I go into prayer and I just can't say anything. I can't do anything. And it's like in those moments, like those prayers uplift us. Like those prayers are the ones that's carrying us through. So we really, really appreciate that so much. And I don't know, you know, where we would be without our support, our families, our friends,
spiritual father.
Oh God, our spirit man, breakthrough. Yes, all of y'all, like everybody, y'all have just shown your support in the midst of COVID. We feel it, even though we haven't seen you guys as much. We feel it, and that's what's important more than anything. So here we are. It's been 9 months now, and though we do not have our Aubrey Jai, we carry her in our hearts each and every day. Yeah. We love her.
We see our
so
ladybugs.
I wear my ladybug. Yeah. I wear her fingerprint around my necklace every day. Yeah. And though the story doesn't end here, it didn't end April the 3rd. It did not end then, and it doesn't end now. It just keeps going, and it's just another chapter. It's going to be a new chapter.
Wait till her book come out, y'all. I'm trying to tell you, boy, that book gonna be fire. It's gonna be like what's it called? Tom's Roman, not Tom's Roman, but New York Times.
He already speaking it. So
I'm trying to tell you, wait till her book come out.
We really just believe God to continue carrying us, guiding us, and just being who He is, and loving us as much as we, love Him as well. So honestly, back then, like 3 months ago, back in April, I didn't see us doing this. I didn't see us being in this place or coming out of that room, let alone
being happy.
Didn't see us enjoying life and enjoying each other still.
I knew it.
I didn't see that.
Well,
you might have.
Because the thing is, how you see, you look at the order instruction and stuff, as in your household and stuff like that. How God talks to either the husband or even when it trickles down to the wife and stuff, where the husband may see the vision, see that down the road and stuff like that. So I, for one, I couldn't stay at that place of wanting to feel down and stuff. I was like, okay, God, there's still a mission you still have for this household, so I still got to make sure we get there. So I know for sure I really couldn't have those moments or days as long as my wife, but it was more hurting to my wife because she had to physically go through it. So I understood that I had to still be patient with her. So I couldn't rush the process, but still I had to be like, okay, babe, we still got work to do.
Definitely keeps me moving. It reminds me. That's what I'm so appreciative of him. He reminds me that there's still expectations. Right. There's still hope. There's still a promise. And I need that reminder from him. Sometimes, when he says that, it'd be right on time. It's like something I just needed to hear right at that very moment. Or a hug he'll come and give me or something like that. And I've seen him as a husband, as a leader, as a provider for our family, even more during this time and everything. And to know that he can carry this family, and I've seen him do that. That to me reassures me we're okay. We're fine.
And my biggest thing, what makes it easy for me, is the partner that I have. My wife, she's perfect. She's a perfect wife. And I'll have to break the definition of what that really means one day. I'll let y'all know about it. But she's a perfect wife. And what really helped us and save our relationship, our marriage, was her yes. So I'm I can't do nothing but keep pushing her and pushing me and doing everything that I can. I'm okay, babe, even if I got to take the whole load one day or 2 days or a whole week or whatever like that, I'm going to do it. Because you saved us before, I'm going to, continue saving us again. We're a partner. We feed off each other, man. This is
a team.
A team, a best friend, dynamic duo. You can't stop us when we together. I'm going to tell you that. Shoot.
We are forced to be reckoned with.
Maybe somebody try.
Yeah. but no, we have learned a lot from each other. A lot of things that we can take from one thing and bring it to the next and just expand on that. And I'm really appreciative of every experience, everything that we've been through before we even got married to now. Is just a stepping stone. Everything is just another stepping stone to what God has in store for us. And I do believe that greater is coming and greater it shall be. And I'm so thankful.
Oh yeah, great.
So thankful for that. And like he already said, our pastor, our first lady, just You guys are awesome.
Yeah.
You guys are really awesome. We appreciate you guys' prayers
Absolutely.
and everything. So,
Glory to God.
yeah. So we are here today, smiling and
Always.
happy, and knowing that God is still God. If y'all didn't get anything else out of this video, just believe and know God is still God. Hear it from us, our testimony.
Yeah.
God is always going to be God, no matter what.
That's without a doubt. Like,
No matter what. And he's still good.
Mhm.
He's a good father. He's our father. Our father. And we love him. We really do. So thank you to all of our support, our families, both of
we
our
appreciate
families,
y'all.
our church family,
Thank y'all.
our friends, our work families,
Gracias.
everybody. We love you guys. And
Cheers.
yeah, when this link is up, we hope you share it.
Yeah.
Somebody may need
else
to
need
see
to
it.
hear it,
Because
yeah.
surprisingly, when our story got out, when we first did our video after we lost Aubrey, so many people was reaching out telling me, you know, how it touched them and they had an encounter like that.
Mhm.
So please.
And one thing is, like, you never, like, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, we never knew, like, how often this had happened. And because we spoke with somebody, she was, I think, like 34 or 33 weeks pregnant, and she lost a child. Like, she was like right there,
Yeah.
and she lost a child. We were like, wow, like we were just at, 26 weeks, even though it still felt like far for us. It seemed like it took forever for us, but she was at 33 weeks. We're like, man, we couldn't imagine. Like, that's rough, man.
Yeah.
Like, you legit had, your baby.
So even for this, my birthday just passed.
Yeah.
And I
I
just
took a jet skiing too. It was fun.
I just turned 26. So, to be honest, I wasn't looking forward to this birthday at all. None whatsoever, because I knew Aubrey's due date was coming up, and I knew she would have been here any day now and everything. So, I wasn't looking forward to it, but I'm so glad that he got me out of the house and he planned some things for us and everything. So, I'm just happy to see another year of life and just going into a whole new year with all the things that I have encountered in this past year. I feel so much stronger. I feel renewed. Like, I feel renewed, and I'm prepared for another level of what God has for us and everything. So, yeah. Again, thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
Share it with somebody.
Share, like, subscribe,
You don't really.
all that good stuff. Well, we got a YouTube page. We don't got most people on it, but I mean, it's out there if you want to go up on it.
There will be more videos.
Yeah, it'll be more. It'll start
more
adding.
challenges.
We've been
and
slacking
stuff
on
like
it.
that. We
YouTube
do.
page, JN Shaquana, JAY ampersand, and Shaquana 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 Washington.
Thanks.
You're
But
welcome.
yeah, peace out. Love you guys.
Love you guys. Appreciate y'all. Okay, you can turn off.